To me, the first is, I believe, why did God come in human form for us? I think one of the biggest reasons is that he is our example. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 22 says this, "For God called you to do good, even if it means suffering, just as Christ suffered for you." He is your example, and you must follow in his steps. 1 Peter 2:22. The Father gave us our identity. We talked about that last week. We get our identity from our Father. The Son shows us what that identity ultimately should look like. It's one thing to know who you are, but then how to live that out. I think that's one thing that we wrestle through in life. The Son gives us an example of who we should, as children of God, how we should behave. The Father tells us we are his children. Through Jesus, we have an example of how to be his children. Any of you children in here, or were children at one point? Did your parents have to educate you on how to be their child? What was appropriate to be? If you're a child in this family, you will act a certain way. Anybody experienced that sort of training before? Can I get an amen? I was the son of a German, and there was certain ways that Germans behaved, especially Christian Germans. So that is how that goes, and my children know all too well when certain attitudes start to emerge from them. There is an attitude that emerges from me, and I've definitely learned a lot about how God's anger is it lasts only for a season. His anger is his anger is very short-lived. I understand that. I can get very angry very quickly with my kids, but once the attitude adjusts, that anger is gone, and we are back to a loving relationship. Anyway, Jesus shows us he's an example of how to be God's children. In an ideal world, children grow up ultimately to emulate or to reflect the character of their parents in the world. Hopefully the parents are good parents, and the children grow up to be a representation of that character, and many will go on to carry on the father's work, maybe his line of work, or his contribution that he makes to society. That's often how things work, and that's what children are to be, and Jesus took on that role for us. He was a model of what God's character would look like if it were in human form, and he came to finish God's work of creation. God created this beautiful creation that got corrupted, and so Jesus came then to carry on the Father's work among us and show us how to do that.